Welcome back, agents, to another Division 2 video. In today's video, we are focusing on the latest named chess piece, the Combuster. The Combuster chess piece is part of the new brand set, Palisade Steelworks, which offers us some great brand set bonuses. For one piece, we get 10% armor on kill. For the two piece, we get 60% health. And for the three piece, we get one skill tier. But for this build, we are rocking just a single one, just for this perfect talent. The Combustor chess piece comes with the talent Perfectly Explosive Delivery. Whenever you throw a skill 1.5 seconds after landing, it creates an explosion, damaging enemies within 5 meters. Afterwards, explosions will occur every 5 seconds. That part right there is what makes this perfect. The first part is what the original explosive delivery would be, and for the perfect version, we get the consistent explosions every 5 seconds. The damage of our explosions is scaled with our skill tier, dealing 25 to 100% damage of our concussion grenade. So since our build was focused on this piece in particular, we knew that we needed to focus on explosive damage. So if we're focusing on explosion damage, that means we are going to need the China Light Industries brand set along with the Grupo Sombra brand set. The China Light Industries brand set is very easy to get if we need skill damage and skill tier. So our biggest problem was our Grupo. The easiest and quickest way to get to that explosive damage on the brand set for Grupo Sombra would have to be the Ninja Bike backpack. The Ninja Bike comes with our talent Resourceful, slots in with any equipped gear set or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear set bonus. Can unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously. So as you can see here, we're wearing just one Grupo Sombra knee pad, and we get both our critical hit damage and our explosive damage. So generally you'll get red attributes. So getting a double yellow attribute on a Grupo Sombra so we can switch that core to a yellow is pretty difficult. That is where the Ninja Bike backpack comes in. So once we solve the issue using Ninja Bike on getting the explosive damage for Grupo Sombra, and we have our China Light mask, we need to figure out gloves and holster. And as you can see, this was fairly easy to choose. We obviously went with the Hanyu gloves. This gives us the skill haste and skill damage because of that Ninja Bike, and we have the same thing on the attributes. And then we decided to make this somewhat of a hybrid build just because we were already at max yellow cores, and I figured we could put out a little more damage with our weapon. So we put on the Picaro's holster, switching that core attribute over to a skill tier. Now because of the Ninja Bike, we're able to get another skill tier out of the Picaro's holster. So we have 3 core attributes from this one piece alone. And we also get skill tier and skill haste on this. And with that, we moved on to our skills, the first being the Seeker Mine. I like the Seeker Mine because we kind of get the double explosion, right? We toss the Seeker Mine at our enemy, it lands, we get the initial explosion damage, and then it goes after its target. We get another explosion. Most of the time, you're either killing the initial target or multiple targets, depending if you're using the cluster or the single Seeker Mine. After that, we needed to figure out how can we get the most out of this chess piece because of the constant explosions for your skill, and I figured the decoy. We're not tanky, and we're not putting out as much damage as we would with a DPS build, so the decoy would handle those rushers and those people that come up close and really focus us so much because it'll not only distract them, but it'll actually put out the damage to eliminate them so we don't have to worry about them. Once the skills and the gear were figured out, of course, we need to move on to our weapons, and I went with the capacitor. The main reason we went for the capacitor is for that second part of the talent. For each skill tier, gain 7.5 weapon damage. So with the skill tiers and the red cores, this weapon benefits from it. So we get 6 skill tiers, which brings up our damage by 35% about. And then we have 3 red cores on top of it. So all of that is buffing up our damage for the capacitor. Now, as for the secondary, this part was a little difficult. At the moment, I do have on the lefty just because of that talent Perfect Sledgehammer. Targets hit with a grenade will take 40% more damage and have a negative 30% movement speed. But it doesn't hit as hard as it would with a DPS build. So I usually am back and forth between the lefty and the Dark Winter. It's just an overall good SMG, good sidearm, also a good main weapon depending on the build you're running, and you can't go wrong with it. Obviously, because we are focused on explosives and explosions, we are using our demolitionist or demolitioner or demolition, whatever word it is you use. We are using this specialization just because this gives us an additional 10% explosive damage. But that is our build for the Combuster. Now, I'll give you my overall thoughts before I go into the gameplay. It's not that great of a chess piece. The explosions that keep occurring for our skills are pretty good for rushers, or if you're throwing your skill, let's say, on the enemy. But aside from that, it doesn't really work that well. Regular enemies are not really going to go running up to your skills, especially if you're running like a turret or a trap. They're not really going to look at your skills and think, I need to go after it. They will shoot at it, but the chance of them just blatantly going up to it, aside from the decoy, is very small. And like I said, the decoy is only mainly useful with the rushers, and the other enemies just kind of shoot at it, but they'll never really run up to it. That's where the Seeker Mine comes in a little better for the non-rusher enemies. You can at least get that initial explosion when you throw it, but unfortunately you don't benefit off of the constant explosions. But overall, the build works. It's pretty fun, and to be quite honest, this is probably only something I would use just to get this proficiency up there. I'm slowly getting there. I'm at a 6 right now. I'll probably use this for maybe a couple more days, or maybe even finish it out in a day or two. And after that, I probably wouldn't use it much more often unless this gets some sort of crazy buff where it's actually extremely beneficial. But there are way better chess pieces, unfortunately. But that's going to do it. I'll leave you all with some gameplay. Let me know if you guys have used the Combustor chess piece yet. How did you make it proficient? Did you go and just donate materials or donate chess pieces? Or did you actually try to figure out how to use it, make a build, and see if it is useful in any way, shape, or form? But that's going to do it. I hope I see you all on the next one.